What's going on? What's going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to another special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. This is your host, Clifton Pope. And the reason why I say this episode of the HFWB Podcast Series is special in particular because I am still here at this very moment in Washington, D.C. For those who will be listening to this episode at a later notice, which will probably be next week when this episode comes out, I am actually getting ready to leave Washington, D.C. at this very moment within the next hour or so. So I wanted to record a quick podcast episode. That way I can give final takeaways, final thoughts before I board the plane and head back from Dallas, Texas. Well, to Dallas, Texas, from Washington, D.C. to Dallas, Texas, and then Dallas, Texas to Corpus Christi, Texas. And by the time this episode comes out, it will probably be out next week, and this is going to be kind of I'm going to dub this officially the final takeaway episodes from the USBC, the United States Black Chambers of Commerce Convention, as far as final takeaways and stuff. So that's going to be the theme as far as this episode of the HFWB podcast series concerns, is final takeaways from the United States Black Chambers of Commerce. And it all comes back to basically all the things that I kind of talked about a little bit, for really technically yesterday, but it would be last week, since that's when of course I record the episodes and stuff like that, little insiders and stuff. But just kind of like a friendly reminder as far as final takeaways that I've personally have learned, as far as just overall, just to kind of recap the final day, the final full day that I had in Washington, D.C. yesterday on Friday, July the 21st, 2023, with today's date being July the 22nd, 2023, and it is 9:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's an hour behind back home in Corpus Christi, Texas. It'll be 8:35 a.m. Central Time, of course. But overall, it's just having the opportunity to just experience the nation's capital and to experience Washington, D.C. I kind of took on the motto of the movie Rush Hour, to where that one line where Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker say to each other at one point throughout the movies, where they say, "Keep calm, act like a tourist." So that's kind of how I started off my final day. I went to the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial because I never been there, so it felt good to get to see the memorial and have someone take a picture of me in front of it and everything, because my favorite quote from Martin Luther King Jr., and this is something that I hold dearly to me: hope is the bright foundation for the future. As long as we have a little bit of hope in whatever we're going through, whatever we're experiencing, whatever what we're dealing with, as long as we just have a little bit of hope and have that bright perspective, so to speak, as far as everything's going to be all right. We just got to stay the course, and we just got to overcome this obstacle, because this obstacle of difficulty is going to turn into a brand new opportunity that will make you stronger and give you the ability to last longer within itself as well. So that's something I kind of got out of seeing the MLK Memorial statue. That was great. I got to, of course, go see the monument. I had a guy take a picture of me in front of the monument. I had a lot of people really just taking pictures of me in certain places, and it just goes to show you, Washington, D.C., they have some a friend of mine actually texted me because she was actually jealous of me being in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to say who it was, but she told me that the energy in Washington, D.C., it can be intense at times, but it can be good, if you utilize it within your advantage, So the people in Washington, D.C., to me, they were personally friendly. They took time out of their day to take pictures of me in front of the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, the monument, the prayer of the nation for D-Day during the World War II times, where Franklin D. Roosevelt gave a prayer for the nation to kind of signify how we're going to overcome World War II. For those who don't know what the prayer of the nation is, for D-Day, Doomsday, World War II stuff, you need to research that a little bit more and study your history, because it was a very critical moment in our times that kind of helped shape the country for what it is and all that good stuff. But overall, after I went to go see the sites like I wanted to go see and did a little bit of sightseeing. Oh, and I also checked out the World War II Memorial. They have a wonderful, beautiful water fountain with all 51 states all across. That's one of my favorite things I like to go look at as well every time I come to DC. And then, of course, I took a lift. I was lifting literally everywhere all day yesterday on Friday, July the 21st, 2023. I went to the Hamilton Live. I had a wonderful lunch there. It's probably one of the nicest hotels that they have around the downtown DC area, where all the monuments and all the historical landmarks are and stuff. I had a great lunch there. And then, before you know it, I was jetting back here to the hotel, getting ready to come back to my room where I'm currently recording this episode. For those who are listening right now on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, I am currently in my hotel room here in Washington, D.C. Literally got my bags ready to go as it's about to be checkout time here in Washington, D.C., and I'll be coming back to Corpus Christi, Texas, for those who are listening to this now and who will be listening to this next week when this episode comes out. But overall, came back here, I got dressed, then I got to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel where the USBC National Convention has been taking place. Then next thing you know, I'm on a charter bus. We're going to the White House for a little briefing as far as on what the White House is doing for Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses, and how important it is to support small businesses, especially just minorities within itself, because even most of the people within the White House, and by the way, when we were in the White House, we were kind of on the side. We were like in the we were in the Dwight E. Eisenhower Executive Building, and the one thing that stood out to me the most, of course, the USBC President and CEO, Mr. Ron Busby, he kind of gave an idea that there might be a special guest appearance. We didn't know it was going to be the actual President of the United States of America, Joe Biden himself, It was crazy seeing him in the flesh and kind of being like within 10 feet away from him, just listening to him talk about all the issues that are going on within the country, as every president of the United States should. So that kind of made my day, to where everyone who was speaking after that, I really didn't pay attention to, because I was still blown away, like, oh my God. It's not every single day you get to sit in a briefing within the White House, and then the President of the United States of America himself walks in just to show how much he cares about supporting Black-owned businesses, Black entrepreneurship, and just supporting generational health as far as within minorities, because it's like paying, of course, and obviously paying all the taxes and all that stuff. That's one thing he stressed about a lot, and just he really cared about creating that necessary generational health for the minorities, and just generational health from what I got out of it. And it was just an honor just to be within 10 feet away from the President of the United States, Joe Biden. That was pretty cool. And then from there, while I was there, we got an email confirming that we were all invited to go to this all-white party on the Cruise Party's yacht ship. That was great, where we got to literally take a tour of the whole DMV area. And for those who don't know what DMV means, it's 2 cities, 1 state. It's basically Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Washington, D.C. is like literally right there, and then next thing you know, you in Maryland, and then next thing you know, you in Virginia. Funny thing about it is I didn't even realize we were taking a tour of the DMV on that cruise yacht ship. I was just so in the moment of just enjoying cups of red wine, having cigars, networking and politicking with some powerhouses as far as from the best of the best this country has to offer at this United States Black Chambers of Commerce National Convention, where I got to network and politic with Black-owned business owners, Black entrepreneurs, Black Chamber of Commerce leaders in different cities and everything. It was just an honor just to be a part of all that. It was mind-blowing within itself. So overall, that's kind of like my overall takeaway from the Washington, D.C. final day of me just being there within itself. But it's kind of like what I alluded to. It was a great access of opportunity, and I'm just truly grateful to be a part of the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce as their treasurer. Well, starting off as the parliamentarian when I did in 2022, and then becoming the treasurer in this year currently in 2023. It's funny because it's like what they talked about in the National Convention about access the opportunity and the business opportunity being there once you find it. It's funny how I found this opportunity along with assistance from the VP, Mr. Curtis Clark, as far as taking advantage of the opportunity to be a part of the Corpus Christi Black Chamber of Commerce, just so we can get out and make a difference. And now we're taking this to a national scale where we're networking and politicking with other Chamber of Commerce leaders, other entrepreneurs, other business owners, Black-owned business owners, just picking their brains, seeing what works for them, what didn't work for them, understanding their struggle, understanding their hustle, understanding their overall story, and just figuring out ways how we can come together as far as unity in the community. Because there's a takeaway that I got out of this that's interesting that I want to mention. There's the tree shakers and there's the jelly makers. The tree shakers, they're people that just come up, walk up to the tree and just shake the tree as hard as they can and hope that some fruit comes out just so they can get some fruit for the day. I look at those kind of people as just like people who just like to come around, make a bunch of noise, complain, make excuses, and they don't do anything as far as trying to find ways to, of course, fix the situation that they're currently in. They have the mindset, of if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. And they need to reverse that thinking to, I want to do everything that I can to be the best version of myself that I can be on an everyday basis. And once they take on that approach, they can continue to grow through whatever they go through, and they can basically continue to improve in their hustle and motivate others to do the same. Because it's a hustle and motivate marathon in honor of the late great Nipsey Hussle. May he rest in peace. But overall, that's a great opportunity as far as what I learned of. But the final takeaways that I kind of learned of, and I kind of said this yesterday when I recorded the episode that's currently about to come out technically today, but the recording process is all over the place. We'll explain it as we go, but to kind of remind people what I learned basically from my key takeaways, final takeaways from the United States Black Chambers of Commerce National Convention. In order for there to be a great America, we have to have a Black America. In order to have a Black America, we must have a strong Black-owned businesses. In order to have strong Black-owned businesses, we need a strong Black Chambers of Commerce to provide the tools and resources needed for support. And in order to have a strong Black Chambers of Commerce, we need the support of the Black community. And all those things are critical because it starts with the people. It starts with investing in the people within the community who have the groundwork laid down as far as the businesses, and getting the right people within the chambers of commerce, Black chambers of commerce, to where they can come together as one to provide the tools and resources necessary to support these Black-owned business owners who've laid down the groundwork as far as just to help build up the local economy and create jobs for others and stuff. And then Once you have the strong black chambers of commerce and the businesses all aligned as one, then we start to create our own black excellence. We're creating black America magic, that black magic. And then next thing you know, there will be a great America like it should be, as far as just standing for diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is what they're trying to wipe away. And there's been a sense of urgency message to where if we don't get it together within the next decade or so, everything's going to be neutral. It ain't going to be no color, no gender base. Everything's going to be one and the same, kind of like the New World Order, where they want one form of government, one form of currency, one form of control, to where they can just basically wipe out everything out of existence and basically take it back in times where we used to be slaves and bowing down to the masters. Do you really want to go down that road again? I don't think so. Which is why we need to make the in-game adjustments to where we can find ways to, improve, take advantage of, all these long, challenging issues that are coming, and realize we've come a long way, but we still have a lot more to do. We have a lot more to create. We have many more people to influence, because influence is currency, because the ability to change somebody for the better and help them cash out what they map out based off of not only their dream but their overall vision of what they want to do, they'll continue to listen, think, and speak for themselves to where they can create something better for themselves that they ever could have from the get-go. So that's kind of like my final takeaways on the Washington, D.C. trip here. I just wanted to record this quick little episode and just let y'all know, hey, big things are coming, continue to download and subscribe to the HFWB podcast series. You can download and stream all episodes once again on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify. You could also listen to my episodes on YouTube by searching Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, all lowercase. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out all the exclusive content there. And make sure y'all subscribe to the Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business podcast series as well. For $5 a month, you can literally have access to my audio book of What's Wealth Without Work. I have all 8 chapters available, so please check that out. And yes, be sure to, of course, buy a copy of my most recent book, Dollar in a Vision. It is available on Amazon along with What's Wealth Without Work. Support your local author's journey as far as telling his own story, because we all have a story to tell. And for anyone who's interested in one-on-one or group training, personal training sessions, I am a personal trainer now. I got personal training sessions available, one-on-one or group. You can call me at 361-765-4760, or you can email me at all lowercase cpope, cpope.cp@gmail.com. Be sure to do that. I don't want y'all to miss out on the opportunity to, of course, training yourself and not draining yourself with effective primal pattern movement, and just basically hunting and gathering the basics of the science of mastering all the push exercises, the pull exercises, the lunge, the squat, and of course, factoring the gait and rotational movements just for better health, because it's like, what's health without movement is something that I always say all the time, and it's just like combining primal pattern movement with proper basic static stretching after all your workouts, and along with a proper warm-up routine to warm yourself up from head to toe, aligning it with proper breathing in and out through your nose, and at the same time drawing your belly button in to where you can stabilize your core and engage that and really feel the breath coming in and out of your body. We could all break that down in further details as you message me or call me again at 361-765-4760, or email me at cpope.cp@gmail.com. We can get a free one-on-one consultation, and we can put together a program based on what you're trying to achieve as far as your goals, your overall diet and meal plan structure, what kind of exercises you want to do to help it either lose weight, gain muscle, or do both, have more energy, all that wrapped in one. And also for anyone who's also looking for one-on-one or group meditation sessions, I do have those available as well. I am actually doing meditation sessions currently at Panacea Hash Garden, 4914 Everhart Road in Corpus Christi, Texas. You can put that in Google Maps. It's simply not that hard to find. You can't miss it. And I'm actually going to be doing Sunday evening meditation sessions starting at 6:30 p.m. And for those who are listening to this next week on July the 29th, just know that Panacea Hash Garden Sunday evening meditation sessions at 6:30 p.m. 4914 Everhart Road with yours truly will be aligning our three brains into one and aligning our chakra system to where we'll continue to move and basically just become one within ourselves and be complete from within and realize our overall source and essence and being within our overall presence. So that's one of the things I want to stress to everybody listening to the HFWB podcast series and everything currently at this very moment. Just, continue to support your entrepreneur, your young business leader, and just support my overall journey. And I appreciate all the love and support that I've gotten so far, and I just look forward to being back home in Corpus Christi, Texas. For those who are listening to this next week, just know that I made it back home safe and sound. And big things are coming for health, fitness, wealth, business. I'm in the process of putting together my next book. I'm in the process of putting together my next course. And also be sure to visit my website, healthfitnesswealthbusiness.com/CP. Again, that's healthfitnesswealthbusiness.com/CP. Go to my official website, or you can follow me on Facebook by searching Clifton Pope or searching Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, all lowercase. I have a link to my website there where you can click on it. And I want y'all to pass on the message of someone who may need this as far as enrolling in my Hustle and Motivate Entrepreneurship course. If you literally go to my website, there's a link on my website to where you can sign up for my Hustle and Motivate Entrepreneurship course, to where we basically encourage people on how to give them the proper tools necessary on how they can continue to improve their hustle and learn the basics on how they can transition from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, and giving them like the foundation as far as what to do and what not to do. So definitely check out that on my website. I want to throw that in there before I forget. And continue to download and stream all the episodes of the HFWB podcast series. Just know that more episodes are coming, more interviews are coming, more exclusive content is coming from Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, more events. Things are just coming into full circle. More personal training sessions and meditation sessions with all my clients. I'm just truly grateful for how far I've come and how much more I have to go. And it's time to get back to work and put it into work and make it work. And that's how you have $1 in a vision and create wealth within the work. Remember that, y'all. Stay healthy, wealthy, blessed. Peace. Till next time on the HFWB podcast series.